It's an honor to be here today and to get to introduce Tammy Maltby Melchisedeck and give her the accolades she deserves. I've worked with Tammy for 15 years. And a couple of areas today, I want to say this up front. A couple of areas is I want her to share her story, but I also want her to share how she uses the boosting group specifically to grow her business with the system of growth. I also want her to talk about community. And I want to share something with you. So, Tammy has built a massive organization around the world. But one of the things that I learn from Tammy every day is if I had to define her, I would say she's the master of building communities. And I was actually talking about her this morning while I'm in Sweden. I was with a group of people a few minutes ago, and I was just talking about Tammy saying that the power of network marketing, yes, comp plans are important. Yes, products are important. Yes, company growth's important. But at the end of the day, if you don't build community, you will never build a long lasting organization. People have to feel a sense of community. And Tammy is the best I've ever seen. And she today still has a very, very large organization in her own backyard of community that is surrounding Partner Co. And as she's built a global business, she still has a huge fire right in her backyard because she's never left that fire. She's continued to keep that community intact with some amazing support around her of leadership. And so not only is she one of the top income earners inside of Partner Co., not only has she built a pedigree here in the network marketing industry, but she comes here just like we all do with massive challenges. So when you look at her today and you see her at the top and you see her, doing all these things and she's done all of these things, if you were to back up 15 years ago, she started in the pain and in struggle and in things crumbling around her. So, Tammy, thank you for being here today. Thank you for sharing this. Thanks for your leadership and what you mean to me and so many people, thousands of people across Partner Co. and the world. But maybe you can start with your story first, and then we'll go into the boosting groups and how powerful community is, and it can't be built without it.
Thanks, Brent. Hey, everybody. Good morning. Happy April 1st to everybody. If you believe this is going to be your best month ever, I want to see a 11111 in the chat. Let's declare this is the beginning of the best season of your life, wherever you find yourself, because it is. And I believe that's to be true. Brent, thank you for your kindness. I have to say, Brent, working with you is just truly a pleasure. And Todd said it perfectly. You are driven by integrity. And I'll tell you, if we build this business on integrity, it lasts, because integrity always lasts. Integrity is amazing and it will always serve us. So it's really fun to talk about all the successes, right? Does anybody know what I'm talking about? It's great to talk about power ranking, and it's great to talk about, these big teams that have been created. But as Brent said, if I am to be transparent with you, and I am a transparent person, I never forget why I got started in this business. In fact, it's what drives me every single day. And, as you start getting success and you start making money and you start building big teams, it's easy to forget how you started. And the second you forget how you started, you will become irrelevant to the people that need you the most. And so you can type that, you can write that down, and remember, today is the beginning of being the most relevant and the most compelling to the person that needs you the most. And so I'll tell my story very quickly. I'm sure many of you have heard it, but there's a lot of new people on here too. And so I think it's important to understand, Brent started out as a coach. and a principal of a high school, took in a couple kids through a foster care situation and needed extra funds. And so that came from a need, and mine came from a need too. And I had the privilege of having an amazing career in media for many years. And I've written 8 books. I did a lot of really great things. I worked with John Maxwell, all the things that stroke your ego and make you feel really great about who you are. And my husband was, he's a retired colonel in the Air Force. And in 2008, one phone call changed our life. And I'm here to tell you, the people that are in your audience, the people that are watching you on Facebook, one phone call can change their life. And remember, when you are persistent and consistent and you are sharing your story out on social media, there's someone that needs what you have every single day. When I post, I know that there's someone waiting to see what I'm going to say. There's someone that needs hope, trust, and a plan. And that's what I was looking for in 2008. In 2008, we got a phone call. One of our biggest projects we lost. Everything started to foreclose. If you were a part of 2008, and you lost anything in real estate, you lost anything in your home value, anything that happened in 2008, 2009, put a 2 in the chat, because I'm telling you, it has affected so many people. 2, because it still has affected so many people. And to be able to recreate the kind of income that we had in a very short period of time was unthinkable to me. And we lost one thing after the other after the other. It didn't happen overnight. But eventually we short sold our house, our beautiful home we were in. We had to move into a rental that I thought was going to be 6 months. And you know what happened? It was almost 4 years. Has that ever happened to you, where you thought a setback would be short, but it ended up being a season? But during that season, and let me speak to you today, if you are in that season of a temporary setback, see, all setbacks are temporary. Some are really difficult and some are much simpler, but every setback in your life is a temporary setback. It is what you do with the setback, which will be your comeback. And it's in that season where everything is challenged around you, whether you come into this business and you need to make $800 like I did. When I started in this business, I needed to make $800 to buy 4 tires for my car. It could have been 8,000. It could have been 80,000. I didn't have $800 to buy tires for my car. I had 4 teenage kids. I had been a single mom, went through that whole thing, married Jerry. Then we lost all of his investments, most of them except one, in that crash in 2008. And so here we were in this season of life. I was 50, late 40s when this happened to me. So don't tell me you're too old, too late to create a business here. You aren't. This is the opportunity of a lifetime to recreate and take that pivot of your life. And I didn't see it at the time. All I saw was I needed tires. Maybe you started in this business because you needed $100 extra a week. Don't forget the person that's looking for $100 extra a week. We have hope, trust, and a plan, not to get them just there, but to move them from 100 to 1,000 a week. We have a plan to do it. So I jumped in. We came home from a party, and I was in Limu, and I heard about this product called Limu, and it was seaweed. Well, we live in Colorado, folks, and there's a lot of weed in Colorado. And so we were like, oh my gosh, people are going to think we're crazy selling seaweed in Colorado. But what we found was absolutely remarkable. We jumped in. Now, I want to speak to you today, too, on this issue of doing something you're afraid to do. Maybe you're afraid of what people will think, right? Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Put a 1 in the chat. If when you started in this business, posting on social media, putting all those before and after pictures, put a 1 in the chat if you were a bit concerned to do that, if you were afraid to do that. And the rest of you that aren't putting a 1 in the chat are liars, because we're all afraid to do that. at the beginning. But you know what happened? I found that my drive to create income, my drive to better my family's life, my drive to get out of debt. Do you want to be debt free? Do you really want to be debt free? Then it will drive you every single day to get up, make your post, change and transform people's lives, because this business has the opportunity to give that to you. And within 4 months of this company, I was making enough to pay my house payment and a car payment, folks. Do you know that you will change? If I could help you make a car payment and a house payment, would that change your life? Yes or no? Absolutely. It would change everyone you know, their life. And so once that happened to me, the fire was lit, and I knew that I was never going to stop. I knew I would not stop this business, no matter how challenging it got. And trust me, we've gone through several challenges, coming from Limu to our other companies and moving into the promised land of Partner Co. I call it the promised land because we worked hard for 12, 13 years to get where we are. Folks, you are in the promised land of Partner Co. You have no idea. If you have come into this business in the last year or 2 years, this company has been prayed for, prayed over. All of what you are experiencing is the faithfulness of people like Todd and Brent and Dr. Crystal that have gone before you to build this and continue to build this. We are reaping the benefit of people that continue to carry the torch so that you have a business you can be proud of and you can make money in and you can have the confidence to share that. So what happened in that period of time before we started in this company, I'll just share this very transparently because I know people look at my life, they see it all beautiful, they see all the accolades, and it is all those things. But right before this company was offered to me, we hit rock bottom. And it was that day we had to pay for a very large bill. And this touches me every time, and may God forbid it not touch me. But my husband was sitting next to me, and he's a wonderful, wonderful man, a man of great integrity. And the only thing we had left, we had sold everything we had, we were down to one car. And the only thing I had of value was my wedding ring. He had given me a beautiful, beautiful wedding ring, diamond, when we got married. And I said to Jerry, we've got to pay this bill. My ring is the only thing we have left. And I said, I have to sell it. And we went to the jeweler that we bought the ring from, and we sold that ring. And we both walked back into the car, and we just both sat there. We couldn't even speak. We couldn't believe what had happened to our life. If that's you, you're in the right place. If that's where you're at right now, you are in the right place. Because what happened about 20 months into this company, I made a huge bonus of $100,000 in this company. And when I came home and we won that big bonus, and Jerry looked at me and he said, get in the car. And I got in the car and he drove me back to the place we sold my ring, and he bought my wedding ring back. And so I'm here to tell you, restoration is around the corner for you. Hope is around the corner for you. Don't you ever give up. And then we continued to build our business. Now we have teams in Australia, New Zealand, all over Asia, Europe, South Africa, all over Canada, the United States. But persistent and consistent and plugging into the system that we have and creating a life-giving community is why we do what we do. Please never forget why you do what you do, because you become irrelevant unless you can speak about the hardest, most broken place that brought you. And maybe you came here just to lose weight, and maybe you came here just to feel better. But I came here because I needed hope. I needed a way to recreate finances for my family. And now 12 years later, our team came in what I think the top 10 last year in North America. We came in the top 20 globally. And I'm just so thankful. So if you are a thankful person and gratitude fills your heart every day that you got on this IPA and you listen to story after story of how people's lives are transformed, you put the word me, I am grateful, me, I am thankful, me, I'm going to show up. If it's to be, it's up to me. And every day, put that on your mirror. If it's to be, it's up to me. If it's to be, it's up to me. And if you make that oath to yourself, not to anybody else, hey, you make it to you. You make the commitment to you. And once you do that, the sky's the limit, and we've got the business for you. And it's really amazing. So here's my beautiful ring. I know all the women are weeping in the chat. They're like, oh my gosh, she sold her wedding ring. But the restoration, my ring is beautiful, but that's not the story. The story is the restoration this business can give you. If you plug in, you stay consistent, you keep your attitude positive, you speak life to your team, and you create a community.
Tammy, and it is a beautiful story. And the willingness to hustle in this industry can get you back. You're living proof of that. You got the wedding ring back with network marketing money that you went out and built and created, you and Jerry. And now we're sitting here and we move and we go like now we have the system of growth, but you do something that's very unique. Not it is unique, but it's something that we all should do. And that is you teach to lock arms with every brand partner. She has a no, I call it the no body bag system in her business. She's like, I don't want to leave no woman or man behind because they haven't been trained and educated on how to run the system. Don't put them in the business if you're not willing to lock arms with them and show them how to do this. And that's your attitude. Can you, because you could talk about a lot of different things, can you specifically talk about the boosting group? And if anybody's on here and you're not utilizing a boosting group amongst your team, pay attention. This is a big hack right here to grow your business. Tammy, could you talk about that first?
Absolutely. So the boosting groups are something, it is a picture of the bigger, it's a one part of training your people properly. So when people get started into the business, it is your responsibility, if you've brought that person in, to make sure that they're trained correctly. Take the time. We hear this over and over on the IPA. It is essential that you take the time to train someone with the tools so that when they leave your house, or they leave the coffee shop, or they leave the Zoom that you're on, they actually know how to work our system. They have the confidence. You practice with them, you show them. One of the things, one of the tools that we have is our boosting groups. And what is a boosting group? Maybe you haven't heard of it, or maybe you have heard of it, but you weren't sure how to get started with that. It's very simple. When you create a post on Facebook, at the very bottom, there's a little button that says share, where you can actually share the post that you made to people. You can share it to groups. So you're going to share that into one of our boosting groups. There are so many of them. We've started several in the Rock and Drops, and they're on Telegram. If you are not part of a boosting group, get with your upline and say, hey, I want 3 boosting groups, not 1, 3. And why is that? Because 3 different groups will access different people that will be able to post on your Facebook. And you want conversation immediately on that post. And so if you boost out your groups, then what is your responsibility is to go up and make sure that you're boosting somebody else's. So you want 2 or 3 other people above you that you love what they've posted or they've posted on yours. What I do personally, everyone does this different. This is just what I do. When people go onto my post and they make a comment, I quickly go back to see have they made a post themselves. And you know what? I'm going to go in there for 2 or 3 or 4 people and I'm going to boost their boost because I want to work with people that are working with me. And so when you bring value, remember this business is all about income is directly connected to value. directly. The more value you bring to something, the more income you're going to make with it. So bring value to those boosting groups. Make sure you're boosting other people. So it's one part of our training system. And then what happens, according to Facebook, once there's that conversation that's going and there's back and forth and more people are posting, and all of a sudden Facebook is like, wow, that post there must be something good there, and they start working for you. You want Facebook to work for you, I want Facebook to work for me, and they start pushing that out to your friends into a bigger audience, and then all of a sudden you're getting that interaction. And I do it all the time, Brent. I still do it. I still yesterday, day before, I can't remember, I think it was yesterday, I don't know, my days are so crazy, I've been traveling so much. But I made a post where it was all partner co people, but then there was that one woman. There she was, the woman I was looking for, and got her on that Zoom with Julie last night. Why these drops with Michelle McKay. And I'm going to be following up with her today because she got on that Zoom. So if you are not putting things in boosting groups, you are losing what we call leverage. We want leverage in this business. And so the boosting groups are really important.
And Britt, you're muted.
Yeah, what's so powerful for the ones that's not on it, you make the post, you copy the post, you put it into the group, and then everybody's loving on each other's posts. But the power for you, if you're not doing it and you've got a team, is you know who actively is running your system.
That's
Like
right.
you can go look in the groups and go, who do I want to work with this week? The
That's right.
ones making the post. Like
That's right.
clear evidence of who you need to be spending your time with on your team because they're in those boosting groups and they're actively pursuing this business. So they'll be the ones that
And
host
remember,
the drop.
yes, and Brent, remember, listen, folks, if you need a boosting group, if you need, create one. Don't wait for somebody to do the work for you. You go out and create a boosting group. Get, with your team, maybe 20 people in your organization, and just make one, start one. Listen, when you take ownership of your business, is when your business will go to the next level. Don't wait for a leader to do it. You are the leader. You are the king and queen of your own business. So go create one, join with 20, 25 other people. Yeah, we need lots of boosting groups out there. I know there's a big one on Telegram. Thank you for posting that, and I appreciate that. But again, remember, this is your business, folks. You can do whatever you choose to do. You can do whatever you're willing to do the work to do. And so we created several because we knew they worked.
Well, Tammy, thank you for your time. Yeah, the boosting groups are amazing. And those people are the ones that I'd be calling on, booking drop talk parties and all of that. Like they're the
Yes.
ones that actively want to build this business. So, Tammy, thank you for your time. Thanks for letting us steal a few minutes with you today. And now we're going to turn it over to the IPA Zooms to finish out.
Absolutely.